me.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2014 Purge sequel, The Purge Anarchy. The film is written and directed by James DeMonaco and it stars Frank Grillo, Carmen Ejogo, Zach Gilford, Keel Sanchez and Zoe Soul. Right, okay, this is the sequel to the popular Purge film that came out a couple of years previously. And this time round, it's set, well, at the time it would have been set in the near future. In actual fact, it's set in our past now. I think it's 2023 the film's set. But with this coming out in 2014, it's the near future. Now, America, as you'll know if you know what The Purge is all about, there are some new forefathers in America. They passed a new law that one day a year, American citizens can purge the population in any way they see fit. There's no laws, there is no policing, there's nothing. You can basically kill who you want. And on this one particular night, we meet three groups of people, really. You've got Eve and her daughter, who have, for one reason or another, found themselves on the street on this night. We have Shane and his wife, again, due to circumstances beyond their control. They are on the streets that night. And then you've got Frank Grillo's character, who is on the streets on that night with a purpose. He is he is a police detective, a sergeant, I believe, who is out for revenge for somebody that wronged him 12 months previously. However, he comes across these groups of people out on the streets on their own, recognises they need help to survive the night, and they all team up in order to try and get through the evening in one piece. Right. What are my thoughts on The Purge Anarchy? Well, this film has been strongly recommended to me, shall I say, by, well, a few people actually, but definitely Leo over at Geek Legion of Doom. He was very keen for me to check this one out. And I'll say straight away that I'm glad I did. I did very much enjoy this. I think, I don't know how long ago it was now, probably a couple of years ago now, I watched the first Purge on TV, not the film titled The First Purge, the very first Purge film. And my intention was to kind of review all the Purge films. But I kind of didn't enjoy the first one that much. So it kind of put me off watching the rest of them. But after watching this one, it has actually encouraged me to watch the rest of them now, because this is a vastly superior film, in my opinion, to the first one. I understand that each Purge film kind of focuses on a different theme. The first one focused on the rich, this one focuses on the poor, and the next one focuses on the politicians, I believe, anyway. And I think there's another one after that, the Forever Purge. I mean, tell me if I'm mistaken. I might be There might be other films out there that I'm not aware of. So each kind of Purge film kind of tells a different perspective on the Purge itself. Now, the whole idea of the Purge has always been a sound one, you know. And with Trump back in power, it's probably not too far from the truth now. It wouldn't surprise me if he, you know, doesn't watch these Purge films and then decide, oh, that's actually a good idea. So it doesn't actually feel like this is beyond ever the realms of possibility. And I don't just mean in America, I mean in many countries, I suppose. So it kind of has that feeling like, yeah, it's got something to say on a social level as well, you know, about humanity as a whole, and, you know, what we would be capable of in a scenario like this. You know, would we do what many people do in these films and go out and, as they call it, cleanse the population? I'm sure there'd be a vast majority of us would try and defend our homes and try and stay alive, but there would be some that would be very, very keen on the anarchy side of it. So it's always got that hooks in, you know, a potential twisted reality, really, the Purge films. And I like that about it. And I think this one absolutely reaches its potential that the first one only hinted at. I think Frank Grillo here is excellent. I don't even think he's got a name. I think he's just known as Sergeant, certainly in the credits. I might be wrong, but I think that's the case. I've always been a strong believer that Frank Grillo is a strong leading man in movies like this, and this again proves my point. He is excellent here, and there's two things I took away from this and his performance and his story arc in this film. Two things. Number one is, I think he would have been a bloody great Punisher, Frank Grillo. I think that ship has probably sailed now because obviously we've got, the Punisher that's on Netflix and Daredevil and stuff, and everyone seems to be happy with John Bernthal. But I think Grillo would have been absolutely fantastic as a Punisher. But I also, something I didn't realise, and while I was kind of reading up on this film after watching it, I think that there was an interview where Frank Grillo compared his character to Josie Wales, the Clint Eastwood outlaw Josie Wales character. And initially I thought, what's he on about? And then the more I thought about it, I thought, he's absolutely right. Because in the outlaw Josie Wales out for revenge for those that killed his family. And along the way, he picks up, like, survivors who kind of latch onto him, and he kind of, feels compelled to keep them alive, sort of thing. Sort of very much a similar story arc to his character in this film, which I thought was actually quite fascinating. Maybe that's why I quite like this one, because Outlaw Josie Wales is one of my favourite westerns of all time, if not my favourite western of all time. So I thought this worked on a lot of different levels. Like I say, I thought it had something to say socially. It had something to say about, what happens on the streets during the purge, but also how, and it's worse as well, how the rich, celebrate the purge, because you get to see that aspect of it at the end of the film. And, you're just kind of thinking, God, I really want them to get the comeuppance. These rich arseholes at the end of the film who basically hunt people off the streets to celebrate the purge in their own twisted way. So it got a lot of things right, this film. The violence is, as you'd expect. I think the action was well done. I thought, the characters were interesting. I like Frank Grillo's character. I like the groups of characters, the married couple. They had a story, they were essentially breaking up and heading to a certain place to kind of tell the family. And then you've got the character with her daughter who, are on the streets for whatever reason. And I enjoyed their story and relationship and how they got to be where they are, sort of thing, and what their father's done to try and, give them a bit of cash, all that kind of stuff. So it has a lot going for it, this film. Far more positives than there are negatives in this film. I actually, it's not often that I think a sequel, easily is better than the first film, but I think this is definitely an example of that. So yeah, I did very much enjoy this one, the Purge Anarchy. I will look forward to checking out the next one. I'll try and get a review up for that one in a week or two. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out this review. If you did, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and of course I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.